Welcome back to a brand new, exciting episode of Video Ditch. It is, April 14th, and it is I, Sam, joined by Nick, as always. And today we have a very special guest. Nick, why don't you give our guest the introduction treatment?
Yeah, right here we've got a little piece of YouTube history. We've got the illustrious Jab50Yen, creator of many a YouTube poop music video, and editor for a multitude of videos for a variety of creators that I know that you have seen, even if you don't know you've seen his work. If you've ever seen a single Mother's Basement video, he is the man behind the entire thing. Jeff or however you pronounce it, the guy's a hack. Jab did it all, and the guy's all the...
That's right.
Just keep that in mind next time you're watching top 10 isekai and why you shouldn't watch them.
No, man, I love Jeff, but I can't tell you how many times people would come up and be like, "Oh yeah, I don't like him, but hey, good work, good work on that." It's like I think the guy's a hack, but yeah, good editing. And I'm just like, thank you. I guess okay.
I hate watch all of his videos, and I gotta say, you have amazing transitions.
Well, yes, thank you, Jab, for coming on. It is a pleasure to have you.
Well, thank you, YouTube legend. Damn, that's one I'm gonna have to think about for a bit.
It's reality. You have to live with it. Yeah.
He's been in the game much longer than Nick and I.
It's true.
Yeah, I say probably back rooms, like the backbone of a lot of channels, probably. But I don't know. My face isn't really known, but like I always describe it as like your favorite YouTuber's favorite YouTuber, like something like that. Where like you don't know me, but someone you like. Yeah. You'll see me hanging out with a content creator you like, and you're just like, who the fuck is that guy? Like, who is this random dude? Just
it's the Rick Rubin of YouTube. Yes,
hanging out with my parasocial YouTuber. Like, what the fuck?
How come? Yes. Why is Mega64 hanging out with him and not me?
Not me.
It should
I
be
commented
me.
on their post. Oh well. Today we'll be discussing YouTube poop, gaming, cinema, shit posting, all kinds.
All the hot stuff.
Yeah, really. To start us off, I always like to ask our guests, and Nick and I always kind of refresh each other.
Right.
Any media you've been consuming lately? Anything interesting? Games?
Oh,
movies?
yeah. So I'm one of those annoying film buffs that has a Letterboxd account and says a lot of words about movies, but there's a challenge that every other year me and my friends do where we try to watch one movie a day for the entire year. So, and because this year's a leap year, we have to watch 366 movies in a year instead of 365. And it's challenging as fuck. I'm like 20 movies behind right now because I've been traveling. But let me see what I've been watching recently that I can give some recommendations to.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever try to pad it out with like garbage, just like complete schlock that is going to be dog shit, so you don't have to pay attention?
I try to sometimes, but like the older I get, the more I'm starting to not like irony watching. Like back then, like I used to be obsessed with Asylum movies. I have like 70% of Asylum's catalog, like before 2015, like all in my head, because for some reason I thought it was funny to consume. But the older I got, I was just like, I wasted like hundreds of hours of my life as a teenager just like consuming Mecha Shark versus like really big monkey. Like I don't like just like I could have done so many other things, and I wasted so much time being like, oh, I'm funny because I'm watching movies that I know are bad.
Yeah.
But so I do my best to only stick to movies I like. But there was this weird movie recently starring John Cena called Ricky Stenicki that came out a couple months ago.
I saw that. It looked like one of the worst movies ever made.
It's so bad. Like I went to PAX with my partner and their friends, and they all wanted to watch it one night when we were getting drunk, and I was like, okay, I guess, because they still irony watch, but like everyone seemed to like it way more than me, and I was like, are my standards just too high? But like they were like, well, I was expecting it to be complete garbage, but it's slightly less garbage, therefore like in their minds
I'm invested.
They've like programmed their minds to think it's like an amazing movie just because it's slightly less bad than the type of bad they're used to.
It's not the complete bottom of the barrel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know John Cena was more than Bing Schilling. This is something. Wow, he's a really accomplished actor.
But I had this ongoing joke because like John Cena follows me on Twitter, but he follows like 800,000 people. So like everyone in the hotel room was joking like, "Oh, you gotta support your mutual, Jab.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
you
in a
gotta
movie."
live
Yeah.
tweet your Ricky Stenicki
Your
watch. Yeah.
oomphy, your oomphy will be
Yeah,
glad to see.
that's oomph with Zac
Yeah.
Efron and
Just
Yeah, they
backstage
got
at
Troy Bolton.
WrestleMania, John Cena's like, "Oh my, Jab, watch Ricky Stenicki. Oh my, he hated it. I can't perform tonight."
Yeah, just goes out completely crestfallen, throws the match.
yeah, John Cena is following my stupid letterbox thread on Twitter.
Something seems to be on his mind. He's distracted tonight. Yeah. Oh, very nice. Very nice. What about you, Nick? Anything interesting?
Anything like
Noteworthy?
new? No.
Just in general, yeah.
Everything's the same. I'm either working or I'm editing something or I'm working on that stupid RPG Maker game I decided would be a good prize.
Yeah, well,
Ooh.
Yeah.
the community appreciates you for it, and I
They
appreciate
better.
you for it. Yeah.
They better. Because I forgot that it takes work to make a game.
Right. To produce something that you
I
can
know.
actually be proud of. Yeah.
It's one thing to be playing the game and you're like, this is a piece of diarrhea dog hole. And it's another thing to be a guy who made the diarrhea and be like, hey man, come on.
Hey.
And it's funny with RPG Maker because everyone automatically thinks, "Oh, that means all the programming's done for me. All I got to do is write the dialogue,
I
and
know.
I'm good to go. There's a game."
That's why I started using the first place. You mean I have to learn Ruby? Come on. But, you know, I'm in too deep now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very nice. Very nice. And Jab, I'm sorry, I couldn't help but notice your Discord icon. Is that from Bottoms? Is that
Yes, yes.
Oh yeah,
The best comedy to come out in
it
probably
was.
like years.
It's a very good one.
It
Yeah.
was very good, very
My
funny.
my fiance was just rewatching it the other day, so like I saw the face. I was like, I know exactly what this is.
Yes, that face she makes when she finds out her boyfriend cheated on her again. Like I that's easily like my favorite face anyone's
Mhm.
ever made in movie history. Like one of
Laughing
my
till crying is a wonderful progression. Yeah.
exactly like my favorite comedy of all time is Superbad, and for a lot of
Ooh.
years I was like, man, we're really not gonna get a comedy like Superbad ever again, huh? And then Bottoms comes around, and I'm like, okay, my biased brain still likes Superbad more than Bottoms, but objectively, I think Bottoms surpasses Superbad in terms of like tasteful edginess, if that makes sense.
Yes, it makes
Like
I prefer it
perfect
over
sense.
like Judd Apatow. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, like all the edginess still feels like it has some good intention behind
It
it.
was good
And
natured
uh-huh.
sex pest comedy. Yeah.
Call me
yeah,
crazy,
exactly.
but I would put Bottoms above Knocked Up. You know, maybe it's just me in this fucked up
Oh,
world.
this is already a controversial episode now.
Yeah,
But
I
no, like
know.
everything about it still had like some sort of like heart and good spirit behind it. So like if I want to introduce like a Zoomer or something to like raunchy high school comedy, I would absolutely show them Bottoms over Superbad at
Yeah.
this
Right.
point. My heart still has Superbad over it, but my brain
Yeah.
knows like, okay,
Totally.
this one's more like friendly to like newer people that are like consuming raunchy comedy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Superbad's such a screenshot of a period of our youth. Honestly, like we kind of
Mhm.
grew up during
Yeah.
that time. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like Seth and Evan were I would see interviews being like, "Oh, I watched John Hughes high school movies and I was pissed off. That is not how high school is."
Yeah. Right.
And everyone
Yes,
was like, "How about you make a high school movie then?" And they're like, "Yeah, we will." And as soon as Superbad came out, everyone shut up. They're like,
Yeah.
"Okay, all right, you guys know how to make a high school movie."
Like, okay, fine. We admit it. High school sucks.
Yeah,
All right, you happy?
you got it. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, and on my end, I've been working through the Alien franchise for the past
Ooh.
few weeks, and yeah, I I just finished Alien Covenant, so I watched
Oh,
everything
nice.
from Alien to Alien Covenant plus AVP Requiem. Um, and so I can understand why a lot of people were upset with like Prometheus and Alien Covenant, like, oh, they're explaining too much. But I
Prometheus
feel
Mm.
is
like
the guys in the cum pods, right?
a little bit, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, the white faced guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not like covered in it.
No.
Okay, I thought they were like covered in a white liquid.
Like
I've never seen
oil.
Prometheus.
Honestly, Prometheus and Alien Covenant are better movies than Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection. I was so shocked at the way those movies, the turn they took with those, and I don't know if that's controversial to fans of the franchise, but as someone who's just absorbing it like, all at once, it's like, holy shit. Like, I don't agree with all the world building in Prometheus, but as a movie, I think it's like pretty competently made. And then with Covenant, yeah, I think Michael Fassbender really carried those new movies, and I'm curious to see the new one, Alien Romulus, later this year. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
Oh wow, I had no idea they were still making movies for that
Yeah,
franchise.
yeah. A trailer dropped maybe like a month ago, so
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those movies I always hear people recommending to watch all at once. Like it's like
I
that, the
don't
Scream
know.
movies, Fast and Furious.
I
Everyone's
don't
like,
know if
it's
you
like watch
should.
all 10 Fast and
Yeah.
Furious movies
See
in a
the
row. Watch
decline in
all
real
these.
Yeah,
time.
right. Like, do you want to see the decline of a property?
It's
Yeah,
just in real time, like a plane
right.
crash.
Did you say all the Scream movies or all the scary movies?
Scream movies. God no, the scary movies. Like
Scary movies, another tragic decline in quality.
which I wanna say is like everyone's on the same page, but I've been seeing that like parody movies are like kind of returning. Like I saw a
Really?
post saying that the scary movie franchise is going to completely reboot with like new modern day references, and I was like, I don't know, dude. The internet moves a mile a minute. I feel
Yeah,
like
I
Mhm.
everything's going to instantly become outdated as
I'm gonna
soon as
get
you release
Mr.
that
Beast
movie.
and
it's
Scary
long
Movie.
gone.
Yeah, just like some Mr. Beast parody, but by the time the movie comes out, some other millionaire has already surpassed him,
Exactly.
and
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah,
In
Which is
5 years, they're gonna make a scary movie, and it's gonna be Five Nights at Freddy's. It'll be that sort of
it
late
doesn't need to
term.
exist anymore.
yeah,
That kind of encapsulation of a couple of years is just
Mhm.
impossible now. You need to encapsulate 2 minutes. You need to encapsulate 2 seconds, or else you're worthless.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
God,
It
I hate
is pop
TikTok.
culture moves so quick. Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
one thing.
it's
I only
so
have
quick.
time to watch YouTube and TikTok. Actually, I was trying to watch TikTok videos, and I was like, I think I hate this. I think I hate I think everything about this is very like anti-creator, anti-creative. I feel
Mm.
like
Oh, just like the whole general concept of TikTok
yeah,
you hate.
like
Yeah.
you're punished for creating something original. If you don't like take the most popular sound and put like that feeling when you take a big dump and there's no TP and then it's like your face like and
Right.
garbage and no one gives a shit.
The more optimist side of me like views that part of TikTok is like, okay, like there's so many people out there that have really insane minds, but they don't have the skills to video edit or like the patience to produce a video. So I feel like when TikTok provides them all these tools, it allows the most insane unhinged people to have platforms that otherwise wouldn't have it because they didn't want to put the work through like creating something. Because like people back then would just post webcam videos on YouTube like 100 times a day, and everyone's like, I'm not gonna watch all this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
there's like, but now on TikTok, because people are constantly consuming more content, now all these psychopaths have like, oh, now I know how to use text to speech. Now I know how to do all these transitions because TikTok has made it easy.
Mhm.
Now, whether that's good or not is up to you. It's probably not, but like,
Hey, if you got
but
psychos that make you laugh, send them my way because I have lost all the allure, all the smile and laughter and mirth when I go on that site has vanished from my eyes. I am dead-eyed scrolling that site now.
well, what does your For You page look like?
It's like a Chinese guy making food and
I like that. That
Yeah,
sounds good to me.
that sounds like the most wholesome thing.
Boston Terriers farting.
Ah,
Not
okay.
that one, not so much.
And sometimes it'll be a guy playing games, but it's always like it's never like the games I want to see or the guys playing the
Mhm.
games I want them to, and a healthy serving of ads. I'd say my
Maybe,
Right.
favorite
maybe
videos are
you're
the odd Chinese guy making like candy from scratch, living in a peasant shack. I love that guy.
maybe your algorithm just isn't honed in at all, or honed in
No,
completely yet.
I used to get a lot of
Yeah.
like crazy ass videos of like psychotic people just going throughout life in a horrific way. And I thought those were good, but I haven't gotten those in a long time.
Yeah. With TikTok, people, I feel like the playing field of content creation has like really been leveled. Because I agree with what you're saying, Jab. Like you could, and you can kind of tell too when you're watching something created by someone that's like, oh, they're just really using all the tools that this app and platform have for them, but
Yeah, like
in a way
it
like
totally is a handicap. Like I'm not denying that, but like, and this could be a very bad thing. But like, I've always craved like psychotic content. Like I
Yes.
would I would follow like people on YouTube that like unironically thought they were being gang stalked, so they would like upload 200-300 videos a day of like every time they go
Right.
out, they record every person on the street being like, see how this person takes loops in this parking lot while I'm standing here, but the second I leave, they walk away. Like they like was
Right.
so like or just conspiracy theorists in general who like go to Walmart and like scream at the employees because they think they're all ops or something like that. Like, yeah, like I crave that content so much when I was younger, and then like I was like, well, now people are taking YouTube as like a more sophisticated like thing, like TV adjacent content that's like 20-30 minutes long. And then TikTok came along, and then suddenly I saw all that content from the old days like return again.
Like a
Now it
resurgence of it.
just
Yeah.
yeah, so like the old like YouTube boomer brain of mine is like, oh, the good days are back, the golden age of the internet when everyone treated it like a fucking cesspool. It's like
Yeah.
back just on TikTok. But like I don't know, maybe that's not good for my brain, and like hundreds of people on Twitter will tell me that. So like I guess it's
Don't
up
worry
to your
about it.
interpretation.
I mean,
They don't know.
I understand where the 100 are coming from, but
yeah, me
They
too.
don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, think about it. In the grand scheme of things, 100 people on Twitter, like at least 100 billion people in the world, they're less than 1% of 1%. They don't matter. They don't know what they're talking about. Watch the crazy
Exactly.
people.
They're a part of our society, whether we like it or not. So you might as
Yeah,
well just
yeah,
embrace
exactly.
it.
they exist.
Mhm. It's a shared world, you know. You don't have to love them, but you have to acknowledge that it's theirs as well. Yeah.
You can either see
Exactly.
as unintentional comedy, or you could just pretend they don't exist like everyone else.
Damn. Um. Well, with all that being said, we are first and foremost really a video games podcast.
Mhm.
Jab. Video games in your life, you know, how have they been important to you? Is there anything like
Yes.
really
Jab and
important or anything defining for you? I know it's like a really kind of grand topic to approach, but
Right. Yeah, video games have always been just like enjoying what I didn't have growing up. Like I grew up in the Pacific Islands where like it was all just like polluted beaches and the power would
yeah.
go out constantly. So I would really get hyper fixated on like video games that like showed me like different parts of the world I wasn't around. Like
Mhm.
snowboarding games I grew like really attached to because it was like the polar opposite of what I had. So I feel like that was my first entrance to video games where I was like, whoa, what are all these mountains and like snow and everything because I just wasn't used to that. So I would start with that, and then I started like really getting into rhythm games with the PS2 that we had. So
Yeah.
I was like,
All right.
oh, everything in these games are so colorful and positive, where in my real life everything is so gray and like melancholic.
Wow.
So, oh, what was it?
I was gonna say, would you say the rhythm games in particular is kind of what influenced you later in life, the YouTube music video, especially like the super bubblegum rave, heavy, high octane, high BPM music? Because I know it's definitely permanently damaged my brain.
I think so,
Personally,
yeah.
yeah.
Like way before TikToks, way before like fast-paced content online. Yeah, like I would play DDR
It
in
was
the
the DDR
groove, like
Ultra.
pump it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so like when I started using the internet like around like 10 or 11 years old, like I was like scouring the internet for content, and I was like, oh, I like these vlogs because they're super jump cutty. Like all these YouTube vlogs are so fast paced compared to like movies that my dad watched. And then I was like, okay, I want to make content like this, but you know, what 12-year-old is good at vlogging? So like vlogging didn't
What do you
really
have
take.
to say? Yeah.
Yeah, like what are we just gonna complain about someone at school or like yeah, like what do we have? So I just started like watching a bunch of stuff, and then that's when I eventually discovered YouTube Poop and YTPMV, and I was like, oh, this is answering all my questions. Like
Right.
all
Yeah.
the editing is fast paced. It's all sources I'm familiar with, like iCarly or SpongeBob
Mhm.
or like Sonic.
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2, like that,
Wonderful.
like and so I started like learning how to pirate software, and I started making my own, and like YTPMVs in
Wow.
particular kind of fulfilled that itch that I got from like rhythm games back then. I was like, oh, it's super fast paced, and
Oh
it
yeah.
like
Just
so
complete cacophony, non-stop sound.
Yeah.
yeah,
Sounds good.
exactly.
That's cool because you learned about like music production through doing that somewhat. That's really cool.
Yeah, like music and video editing especially.
Yeah, and then video
like
editing, of course. Yeah.
yeah, like someone told me another YTPMVer who also got into like video editing for YouTubers like said something that resonated with me where it's like learning how to YTPMV first and then learning how to do more slower paced stuff like video essays feels like taking ankle weights off where you're like so used to like harder content that the second you're given, oh, just cut audio and just cut this, we're like, what? That's all we have to do? We see all these other people complaining about it, but it's like super simple for us now because we
Mhm.
spent all these years making way more
Yeah,
like
you forged yourself in the fires of YouTube Poop.
Yeah, like every time I show one of my editor friends or just anyone in general my YTPMV timelines, they all like get shocked at how much like layers there are
Yeah,
and how many like video tracks are
the
like.
sheer amount of cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, like someone compared it to like because like nowadays whenever a new movie comes out, like the company Twitter will post a video timeline of like the movies, and then like someone will post their YouTube poop or YTPMV
Yeah.
timeline, and it has the same amount of chaos, the same amount of like layers. So,
Hmm.
so like it really does feel like taking ankle weights off. So I guess I just used that to my advantage and was like, hey, I like YouTube, so I'll help people out.
Yeah, that's what a YouTube poop is, condensed chaos. That's what makes it such a great art form, really.
Yeah,
I love it.
and I'm glad y'all love it because like the older I get and like the more people I meet outside of YouTube poop, like they all still saw it as that weird thing they saw once or twice and they disregarded
Right.
it.
Like, I saw Dr. Robotnik say Pingus. He never said that. Why would they
I'll,
make that?
I'll never forget in 2019, this YouTuber Super Bunny Hop. He was a super
Mm.
big fan of YTP, and
Hmm.
during E3, he recruited me and three other people, saying, "Hey, I want to make this big YouTube poop collab where we use like this year's E3 conferences as the sources." So we collaborated. We made this big YouTube poop collab. He uploaded it. Everyone hated it. It was like 1,000 likes and like 10,000 dislikes,
Oh,
and
what did they dislike about it? What was the problem?
It was too
because like
epic and their brains were too small, I would assume.
he like I like he's like a journalist, so he makes a lot of like intellectual video game like content, like a lot of video game
Mm.
analysis. It's one of those channels that makes you feel smart for watching. So I guess his audience saw that as like the polar opposite, and that was like his weekly video that I guess people were like were like anticipating. So
I
everyone
see.
was like, "Is
I
this
was
this
waiting
week's
all week
video?"
for this. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, so and then like he had a podcast the next day and like his co-hosts were like just completely grilling him for like making that video, and I was like,
Oh,
wow, a lot of
fools.
people really hate YouTube. Like
Yeah.
Jesus.
Fools.
I mean, it's hard to I don't know. I wouldn't say understand, right? But if you don't click on that frequency, then
People don't want to go outside their niche. That's the plain and simple truth. They
mm.
don't want to see anything
Hmm.
that's not what they're accustomed to. And when they see something that's not what they want, then they're going to freak out. They're going to flail around and they're going to scream and shit and click
Hmm.
dislike.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's all comfort zone stuff, and when you take them
Yeah,
out, like that's I don't want to say cope, but I guess that's just
it is. They're
they
coping and seething. You can say it.
they're processing it by acting like they're above it, which I mean I guess everyone's guilty
Oh,
of at
please.
one
I'd,
point.
Hmm.
I'd say video essay watchers in particular. I'm not saying Super Bunny Up, but especially the current state of YouTube. Video essays no longer really exist. It's video summaries. It's like someone telling you the story of Baldur's Gate 3 so you can pretend you played it.
Yeah, like the 8 hour ones that like people were like, oh, I'm not gonna spend $60, but I'll
Here's an
watch
entire
this.
Yeah,
retrospective. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Just someone reading Wikipedia to you. You're like, oh, now I get it. Now I understand.
There's no substitution for real life experience.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, regarding video editing, we have a question from our community, or we have a few questions really, but
We have a
Ooh,
lot.
okay.
yeah. Our first one comes from Bim Buns. He says, "Are there any video editing stories or quirks that you carry with you?" And we kind of answered this, that you carry
Mhm.
with you forward from when you first started out. What were some of your inspirations, and what did you see or think of that made you go, "Yeah, I want to do this"?
Um, I think like a lot of people, uh, it started off with things like the Angry Video Game Nerd, and then like the Angry Video Game Nerd inspired a bunch of people like Normal
Mhm.
Boots and whatnot, and like Screw Attack, and the more and more people were doing it, I think the more and more I was realizing, oh, these are just dudes in their room. They're not like everyone like because like AVGN was like too produced. It was too like professional because
Mhm.
James has like a background with like video stuff in college and he
His
had a
aesthetic and
writer.
everything. Yeah.
So when other people who were inspired by it, because like at that time I was like, oh, YouTube's probably too hard. But then I saw more people do videos and I just noticed that the sets were just their bedrooms. You would see their beds and their bathrooms in the background. And I'm just like, okay, so this is like something I can do as long as I get a camera and whatnot. And I think it was when people were getting inspired by people like JonTron and like Pro Jared and other people, we started seeing more indie feeling videos that were getting celebrated because people were like, I don't know if you guys heard of this forum called Hidden Block, but
No, I
like
haven't.
Hidden Block was a bunch of people that were essentially trying to be Normal Boots, like people in their rooms reviewing
Okay,
games.
like kind of irate gamer, game dude types.
Well, not that bad. But like, they were like, I mean, they weren't great. Like we were all still like in our late teens, early 20s, like figuring things out while going to college. But like it was like
Amateur and independent kind of games
Yeah.
journalism.
yeah, like
Yeah.
amateur
Games
journalism.
media. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of helped you. That which kind of helped me and other people realize, okay, so even if we suck, we're at least not sucking alone. Like all these people are with
Yeah.
us, like
Right
kind of
on. Yeah.
learning
Yeah.
as things go. So like around 2015, I kind of left the YouTube poop community a bit because I was just having beef with a lot of people, and I was like, maybe I should venture on to other places. And like me, much like other people, like our game reviews didn't really take off that well, but a lot of our friends that did succeed, like Mother's Basement and other people, were like, hey, but like you've learned editing skills through this, so how about we collaborate with our channels and like make things happen. So just being in those communities of YouTubers, our successful friends brought our us who were failures to their channels that were growing. And as things progress, like we just kind of became names known around the networks, being like, yo, like this guy edits for my videos, I'll recommend them to you.
Yeah.
So
That's so cool. I
Very
love that
nice.
sort of story. Yeah.
yeah, like a lot of people think it's like really hard, but it's like no, as long as you're just like at a community, like one of those people in those communities are bound to blow up. If you like, if a round of like 20 people are all trying to be YouTubers at the same time, 18 of them are gonna fail, but those two who succeed, like they're not gonna forget the little people they were with. They're gonna bring you with them, and that's what happened with a lot of YouTubers I saw. So I'm just a part of many people that had the same story. Like they all wanted to be YouTubers. We all failed, but our successful friends brought us along on the ride. So we're still like in that clique, like either way, even though our own stuff didn't succeed.
Let me write that down. Join more communities. Hedge your bets.
So that's basically what happened to me. So I started working for Mother's Basement, and then over the years, he would like credit us in videos, so like we were able to like flex like his stuff on our badges. And then
Mhm.
when other people were giving calls for video editors, or when people are asking him for editors, like it comes to a point where like we didn't even have to like advertise ourselves. They would just recommend us directly. So I started working for Matt McMuscles, and then
Oh, wow.
I started working for Cross Counter TV, the channel owned by Gutex and Mike Ross. And then
That is very funny.
yeah.
Owned by
I
PogChamp.
yeah, the PogChamp dude who seems to be doing better, so good for him. But yeah, so like I won't bore everyone by like listing all the channels I work for now, but like
Just throw
but
up a list right now.
By all means, go ahead.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my biggest person right now is the Living Tombstone. That's like my
That is
day job
huge.
right now.
Literally last night I was singing Living Tombstone karaoke. So
Oh.
Oh, really? Damn.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
We
wide
did
reach.
we did karaoke at PAX, and my boss was with me, and
Nice.
we did sing that song for a joke
Wow.
for the
Yeah.
socials.
What's
But
your go-to karaoke track?
oh my my go-to karaoke track.
Yeah.
Just because I know it kind of turns people off, and I think that's funny. I like singing anything Juice World
Oh.
because like he's probably one of the most clowned on rappers, because everyone's
Hmm.
like, oh, it's incel rap, it's misogynistic rap. So I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna make everyone in the room be like pissed off by
Yeah. Well.
by like
Yeah. I'm gonna make the next guy who sings sound really good by association.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm looking out for all the other
I'm
fellas.
There you
helping.
go. Yeah. Yeah. You're contributing. Wonderful. Bim Buns, not getting that wrong,
Yeah, what you
also
got?
asks, yeah, what's the de facto underrated bit where you put in a lot of time or effort where you thought it'd pay off more?
Oh man.
Any painful memories to bring back up?
uh Interesting. um the first thing that comes to mind is I knew this wasn't going to get super big, but I thought the concept was so dumb and stupid that people would look at it more. But last year I did this dumb experiment where I was like, can I form a story off of just filming every elevator I go into for a whole year? And like
Well,
during the whole production, everyone was like, oh my god, this might go viral. And I was like, I don't know about that, but it would be cool to just like see people, because it was also kind of a very low-key criticism on how everyone's fighting to have long-ass videos at this point. Like we were talking earlier about how people have 8-hour videos, 9-hour videos,
That's what
sometimes like
the
15-hour.
algorithm favors long form content, apparently.
Yeah, so it kind of doubled as a parody of like, oh, let's make a video that same length, but it's something way more mundane and dumb.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, maybe I can like make more eyes on this, but then when it got released, like it didn't get that much attention outside of my friends and like the
Well,
occasional.
I mean, you and I, we are close personal friends, as we've established. But I did watch the whole damn thing.
Oh
He did. He
shit,
did. He
I'm sorry.
mentioned it. Yeah.
Yeah, the second that you said you do the show, I started watching it. And I would say more than anything, it felt like kind of a look into downtime at conventions. I don't know if that's what your intention was, but that's what it felt like. Just the in-between moments at conventions, just like the conversations with people wearing like full-on cosplay and fucking psycho goth makeup talking to you. Just
Smelling like
regular,
ass.
yeah, just like regular in between, like the brief moments of respite. It's kind of like a documentary about save rooms in Resident Evil or something, it felt like.
Wow.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. The conventions kind of did unintentionally help the film get way more interesting, because I've noticed that whenever I go to elevators at normal establishments, it's all people that are just silent and like not necessarily happy to be there.
Yes, those clips. If anyone asks you, they'd be like, "Are you filming me?" And you're like, "Yeah, I can't tell you why." And they're like, "Okay."
Yeah, like everyone there like doesn't want to be filmed. They don't want to have conversations. But then at conventions, like everyone kind of wants to be on camera, and
Yeah, it's
everyone's like,
excited.
Yeah. It's that. Yeah. It's the environment. That
The
the
energy
atmosphere. Yeah. The
is better.
atmosphere
I
of it
mean,
all.
I've
Yeah.
always thought conventions, even in this day and in my advanced age, there's nothing better than a convention, and I can't deny it anymore. For a long time, I want to pretend like I was above it, but I just have to embrace it. It's just where I belong. And I feel
yeah,
like
no,
you're the same
Wow.
way. You're pretty much always at a convention.
oh yeah,
That's
like
what it seems like. Yeah. From our correspondence, Jab seems like the man who's always on the road. Viewers
I
and listeners out there.
yeah, I get that a lot. It is a combination of like my work with TLT, since they're musicians, they usually get like guested at
Mm.
conventions. So since I'm their social media manager, I go there to document the whole thing and make videos for them. But I also just love going to them for fun too, because the
Yeah.
way I can describe it, it's like the game Second Life, but in real life. It's like the only
Yeah,
place you can go where everyone's in these insane costumes and
Everyone's an
just
avatar of themselves and
it's
not actually
yeah.
themselves. Yeah. It's
it's
interesting.
like what is it? Like the only good part of Harry Potter, when he's like, "Oh, there's a whole world of people who are like me. I'm not completely alone in this damn world." Instead of a bunch of fucking nerds
Oh,
reading books and shit,
the
it's
idea.
cool guys playing games from Japan.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's the closest thing to the internet in real life. Like it really
Exactly.
feels like going to another
Wow.
planet sometimes. Like
Yeah.
How
you're
long have you
not
been attending and working conventions or working at conventions?
I went to my first convention in 2014 in
Okay,
Florida,
wow. A
and
nice
then
decade of experience. Right on.
yeah, I guess by the time the summer comes around it will be 10 years. And
Yeah.
then I started working conventions. I think the first one was 2018. I did a panel at Too Many Games,
Oh,
and
very
um
cool.
and then ever since then, like as soon as I did a panel, like we did this panel called Exploring Cringe Culture, where I showed videos that people thought were cringe and I defended them.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Oh
that
my God, this
like
guy, exactly what I want to do.
well like and I showed some raunchy ones that made people run out. Like I showed like giantess fetish ones, or like ones where like Vocaloid characters are getting trapped in like glue monster people, and like I
Yeah.
like I wish I still had my old channel, because I had a recording of it and you can just hear everyone groaning at like all these weird fetish videos, and I still found a way to defend it. And
No,
like
I'd say that is leagues above the average panel at a convention.
oh thank
Like,
you,
Yeah.
it was
It's not
apparently like
pandering at all. I love it. It
yeah, no,
challenges
it's
the
like
audience. Yeah.
anti-pandering. Yeah.
You know?
I don't want to see isekai anime. Why you should watch it for the 800th time. I want to see something new and exciting. I want to see someone who goes against the grain.
Yeah, no, thank you. Like a lot of people came up to me like throughout the whole day being like, yo, that panel was like disgusting, but like really cool at the same time.
I mean,
And
you're shedding light on communities or forms of media from communities that don't normally get the time of day. And
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's
exactly.
broaden your horizons. You don't necessarily have to like what you see, but
Yeah, like and that was the point I was trying to make too. Like you know, unless it's something illegal, of course, like, you know, like rape and murder and
Certainly,
shit. But
certainly,
like,
yes.
but if it's not, if it's not hurting anyone, if it's someone making really weird art that just like fulfills themselves, and it's like, yeah, putting it out there, like if you're seeing it and you don't like it, you chose to look at it. You you pulled up that tweet that said, "What the fuck is this?" Or like you pulled up that DeviantArt page. Like besides y'all, all it's doing is benefiting other people that are interested in this cringy art piece. Like so that was like the point I was trying to make to everyone, being like, look how it look at all these people that get to bond over this weird fetish. Like it's disgusting in our eyes, but it's like really wholesome in their eyes, and like really like bonding.
Yeah.
And that's the point I always try to give. And like, and now I'm a little bit salty because like nowadays online everyone's like cringe is dead, everyone gets to express themselves now. It's like, man, I've been saying that since fucking 2015, and now everyone's saying
Now
that.
everyone's finally embracing it. They're
I
slow to
still
embrace
don't
these
think
things.
that's true, anyways. I think people are more like, oh, yeah, the girl I had a crush on who liked Gurr. I shouldn't have pretended that she was cringe. I think that's more the mentality rather than true cringe
Is that what's happening?
embracement. That's what it
Oh yeah,
feels like to me.
That's how
because
it
they're all
feels like to
hot
me.
and gothic now.
Exactly. They're all hot and gothic with two F's. Literally,
It's
yeah.
like, oh shit, the nerdy girl I made fun of in middle school is fucking hot and has like
Yeah.
I should have been nice to
I should have been true to myself. Damn it all.
her.
Excellent. What were we talking about? We were talking about panels, the tales of conventions.
Yes, conventions.
Oh yes, so yeah, so 2018 onward, I just started like falling in love with panels. So I started like doing panels about that. I started doing YouTube poop panels because I realized like we were talking about earlier, I just met more and more people that just didn't like them. So I
Yes.
always like did YouTube poop panels, and I would like show like presentations and talking points and how it like indirectly inspired a lot of like new age content. Like I talked about like the YouTube poop to montage parody pipeline, and how montage parodies like started like inspiring more YouTube essayists and more commentary YouTubers. So I would like show all those pipelines and like early history and like famous people that have endorsed YouTube poop in the past, like Jack Black, Terry Crews.
Yeah.
Terry Crews especially is a huge
Oh
fan of
yeah,
I
YouTube
Red
love
poop.
Spike
that. I love that.
Yeah,
and the
and
Octagon. Yeah.
yeah, and my friend Morgan at a Magfest panel we did brought up a good point that the creator of Adventure Time said that one of his episodes was directly inspired by YouTube poops of the show. So he would like
Wow.
take the jokes and make his own versions in a few
Yeah.
episodes. So I was like, damn, we got a whole like inventor of a show like behind us. So I would always be like, you might hate it, but these people you admire
Yeah.
love it, so you better start loving it. Like,
Yeah.
Creatives, those who know.
Yeah. YouTube poops
yeah,
the velvet underground of internet content. Yeah.
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 Very
So
nice.
so it was all panels, and then of course the pandemic happened, so conventions were down for a bit, and then during that time was when I started working for the Living Tombstone. So when conventions started coming back, people wanted us to be guests there, so I would just go more as like a booth person and like handle their merchandise and also like record their shows to make content out of. So it kind of transitioned. I don't do panels much anymore, but maybe I'll do some in the future when I
That's
get
it.
more ideas.
That is tragic. I feel like the world desperately needs more and better panels.
More good panels. Yeah.
Actually, if you could take a second, perhaps give an aspiring panel creator the steps that you took to start doing your panels.
Yeah.
What
At a
was that about?
glance. Yeah.
Did you just
Ooh.
directly message the convention owner and say, "Hey, let me do this. I'm Jab," or was there a bit more to it?
I was kind of in an unfair position to be honest. So Too Many Games as a convention ran by like the Screenwave guys, like Retroware, and I'm friends with one of the higher ups, Justice Silverman, and he just randomly messaged me in 2018, being like, "Yo, like a bunch of our panelists dropped out. I'm short on panels. Do you want a panel? You can just talk about whatever you want." So I was literally just contacted, being like, "Yo, I need to fill a spot. Like I know you can probably just talk a bunch of bullshit for an hour. Like, do you want a slot?" And I was like, okay. And but at the same time, like ever since then, all it really took was just like applying. Like every convention will have a panel application part of the website, and all it really is like just like you said earlier, like don't have panels like why this isekai is better than this one. Like think of a really like core topic that has never been talked about before. And the two advantages I had was defending cringe culture and YouTube poops. No one ever talks about that because everyone wants their panels to be defending a video game or like, oh, anime hot takes. It's like, no, there's plenty of panels like that already. So
Yes. I feel like whatever prospective viewer that may be perhaps thinking of creating some sort of indefensive yeek panel will find that very useful.
Yeah, yeah, like find something bizarre like that. Yeah, like be like, oh, the biggest fan of Yeek takes an hour of your time to talk about why all these
Yeah,
things
who
are
would
good.
that be?
Oh, are you like are you guys notorious for being Yeek fans or?
Just
I
me.
would say he is. Yeah, me not so much.
Oh, interesting. I haven't played the game yet, but my podcast co-host Zach, he really wants to do a co-op of that on stream one day, and I've been finding every single way to delay it because I don't. He bought me the game like a year and a half ago, and we still haven't
Yeah,
played
no, I haven't redeemed it. I haven't received the.
You know, go in it with an open mind.
it.
There
So
you
like,
go.
so what is your favorite part of Yeek?
How surprised I was by how not complete dog shit it is, mostly. I went into it completely expecting it to be the worst game I've ever played. And
Mm-hmm.
just going through it and seeing like there are interesting parts to it. It definitely has parts that feel unpolished or unfinished, and there are threads that aren't completed. But the fact that I'm interested in it, I want to see what's happening, and the ideas that it presents are interesting, I think shocked me. Because a lot of the discourse
Mm.
on Yeek is people like, oh, well, they referenced the death of this random lady. These people are literally Satan and they should be put to the stake. That's not really a major part of the game at all. That's a very insignificant part. Kind of shockingly
Yeah.
insignificant, actually.
Mhm.
Right.
And the like metaphysical meta narrative aspect is really the interesting thing. The combat I thought was completely garbage, complete dog shit garbage for a long time, and then I turned out that I had accidentally been using the original Yeet combat system instead of the new one, which makes combat playable. So that was my fault.
Oh, so you were playing like an unpatched version.
Yeah, so that was on me. But as soon as I switched, battles were not taking an hour. So there's a lot of
Oh my
footage of
god.
me being like, this game would be so much better if the combat wasn't fucking horrible. Like people in the chat being like, change the combat. I'm like, I don't know what you guys are
What are you
saying.
talking about, Chad? I don't see anything.
Yeah, like I'm friends with these two guys called the Kimono Friend Zone, and they were playing Geek for like pretty much the entire pandemic,
And they
and
loved it.
they have a love hate relationship with it. Like I think they hated it, but they loved that they hated it because it was just like super entertaining for them, for how bad it is, and like the conversation we were having earlier. Like I guess some people just need that irony consumption,
Yes,
but it sounds like you're unironically enjoying it, so that's
I
an
I
interesting
I
new
went into
perspective.
it completely expecting to enjoy it ironically. I put on a like Chunibyo personality and I wore an eye patch and called myself the Dark Lord of Flame. And then I just ended up
This is
liking
all
it
true.
normally.
Yeah, I remember this.
Wow. Well, hey, I mean, there you go. There's your topic. Go to a
Mhm.
convention that knows about video, like probably PAX. PAX will probably give you a panel
You
to
think
like
Wow,
so?
a
to
panel at PAX. That'd be fucking epic.
like PAX is the first thing I think of when I think of a convention that has a highlight on indie games. Like Geek is an indie game, so
Mhm.
that. But like any convention, like even if you want to just start with small local conventions, like if you say I want to do a panel where I defend Yeek, and then the convention organizers look that up, and it's like, ooh, this is a really controversial game, so this will like drive ticket sales or this will drive like
Mm,
badge sales.
Mm.
Then
yeah.
so I guess that's my
Anime
advice I have.
fans love Yeek.
All
Yes.
right. I'll be sure to put in my application endorsed by Jab50Yen.
Mhm,
Yeah,
yeah.
that one.
That one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one who
That
hasn't
job.
the one who hasn't done a panel in 2 years yet. So
Yeah, endorsed by YouTube thumbnails.
Mhm.
yeah, my arguably probably the most popular thing that I'm working on is just posting other people's thumbnails
It
and
was big. I
mocking
mean,
it.
your pinned one, the Mordecai screaming like my first time jizzing.
Oh
Great
yeah.
stuff.
So there's two other people that used to run the account back in the day that don't run it anymore. But when the account was first starting, like that was all three of our favorite thumbnail we found of all time. So like in
First time
so
jizzing.
so in solidarity of them, to like out of respect for them, like in the work they did in the past, I said that should stay the pin tweet forever.
Right. In memoriam.
Yeah, because they just don't use the account anymore. So I keep that as like a memory of like back when all of us were using the accounts.
Like an eternal flame that will always burn. Yeah.
Everyone will like just knowing that picture is burned into over
Yeah.
200,000 people's minds. Is Mordecai saying my first time jizzing
I mean, it
is a
lasts.
beautiful thing. I have this like cynical take that there's no such thing as a good thumbnail. I just think all thumbnails are bad. I recognize this is super boomer of me to say because I always go on tyrants of, oh, I miss the old days when YouTube didn't allow you to have custom thumbnails. It would just take a
Right, it would
frame
just
from
be
the
like a frame
video.
from the video. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that was the way to go, but then when the custom thumbnails became a thing that every like people talk shit about clickbait to this day, but we're directly responsible for it. Like
Yeah.
fucking everyone like tried to make their videos as like come to me, come watch my video as much
Yeah.
as possible by oversaturating everything, putting the arrows on everything.
Yeah. The
And
soy
like
face.
soy
What
face.
did she just say?
yeah, like
Yeah.
it's caused a whole other stress that we didn't need on this website.
Yeah,
So like
I hate it. I hate them.
I think we can all agree there. Yeah.
but I do also accept that we're stuck with it, whether we like it or not. So the YouTube thumbnails account is more
Yeah,
or less
man.
therapy for myself, being like, all right, I might as well cope with it and just post the absolute ones I just make. Like that's my rule. Like other gimmick accounts like pressure themselves to have this quota to like post every day so they can get brand deals. But for me, it's
Yeah.
just like, no, I want to keep it authentic. I want to browse
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
And like whenever I encounter a thumbnail that pisses me off, or I just go, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like I'll post it on there.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I would be very disappointed to see YouTube thumbnails like directly responding to Elon Musk, like, "Yeah, traitor, class traitor. Why don't you work on the Cybertruck instead of posting online? Like, you shouldn't be here."
Yeah, no, I keep it authentic. Though sometimes I do go out of my way. Like I showed my friends my YouTube searches one time, and they all were like concerned about me because like it would all just be quotes like "Am I racist?" or "How to tell if I'm a pedophile," or like I would just search phrases like that, and out of context, everyone was like, "What are you searching?" And I'm like, it's for the YouTube thumbnails account. Like I love just searking.
No,
like
you don't understand. I'm laughing at these people.
I'm doing work right now. Yeah, I'm creating art.
This is
like,
comedy to me. This is my Norm Macdonald.
like I would like someone like pointed out there was one on my search thing that said "I am sexist and that's okay" or something like that.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And everyone's like, "What are you searching?"
Yeah.
Yeah, like the racist and the sexist ones always work. If I search "Am I racist?" I can always count on some like dorky looking white dude with his arms
Right.
crossed,
Yeah.
being like,
like in
like
the
they
thinker
called me
pose.
racist.
Yeah, I'd be like, stop,
Yeah.
stop conforming. It's fine to be racist.
Some username like rational thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like whenever some new
Fucking A.
franchise comes out, you put woke or trans next to it,
Yeah.
and there's like some angry dude with the trans flag behind him, and like, so like sometimes I'll go out of my way. Yeah, misspelled Disney.
Fucking
Like
so bizarre.
like sometimes I'll go out of my way to do that, but it just completely fucks up my algorithm. And like one time I hosted a big New Year's party in Chicago, and I like the hotel TV was like signed into my account, and I left to go get beers, and I came back, and one of my friends in front of the whole party just went, "Jab, your algorithm is horrible. Like you have like your algorithm is like permanently fucked up."
That's funny.
Endless garbage forever.
Yeah, right. Hey.
Yeah,
That's
got to embrace the garbage part of the internet because that's the biggest part of the internet.
I know. I do miss Newgrounds. I wish we could just go back, blam them if they suck.
Yeah, though I do wonder to this day what potential memes we might have accidentally
Nipped in the bud, or
yeah,
didn't
gatekept
give the
from the
chance
internet.
to.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I feel like Newgrounds back then, the stuff that got deleted was like just reposting other people's shit or just like random spriteless, just stuff that wouldn't have made a difference in the world.
That's fair, yeah. But I also like because do you guys know about that one flash that's just a single frame of the letter B?
Is that a strawberry clock one?
Yeah, like stuff like that. Like I
encyclopedic.
Yeah, it's like searching.
But I just remember how much that made everyone furious. Like, how did this get past the blaming like system? Like, how did this?
Yeah,
like,
that's the clock crew's whole thing was making the worst shit imaginable and then voting it up for each other.
Yeah, because like they were called portal spammers back in the day. I remember where like I was a part of another adjacent one called the Soup Squad, which was basically just a ripoff of the Clock Crew. And we would do the same thing. We would just upload the worst flashes, and then we would post it on the Soup Squad forums. Like, everyone rate this a 5 right now, and it would be on the front page because it was like daily highest rated. and it would have a 5 with like the smiling Pico rating, and then everyone sees it and it's just the shittiest like flash of like just a
man.
JPEG image of a car crashing into the Twin Towers or some shit like that.
I do kind of miss the old Newgrounds reviews where it's just like people, the most hateful, vitriolic people in the world saying the most outlandish, horrific things to you.
Yeah, like everyone telling you to kill yourself,
Yeah.
and like whenever you try reporting it, like Newgrounds was never like automatically modded. It was all manually modded by a team, and
Right.
like everyone on the Newgrounds team were like pro edgy. So whenever they got like
You have
whenever
Tom
they
Pohl
got
personally telling
reports,
you like, man up.
Man up,
yeah,
bitch.
exactly. Like when all these kids would whine about these comments, like all the Newgrounds people would be like, "Yo, this is the internet. You
Yeah.
gotta deal with that. You
Wow.
gotta."
They'd be like,
But
I mean,
now,
to be honest, this guy's pretty funny. You should listen to him.
yeah, exactly. Being like, I mean, to be fair, they got a point. Like this content does suck, and they've like they would openly admit that on the forums too. They were like, well, this comment's a little out of the line, but your content is shit. Like,
Doesn't meet our standards.
yeah.
Not that we agree with what he's saying, but you could have tried harder. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Newgrounds and Something Awful days, like is just like reminiscent of a time back when using the internet was still a weird thing to do. Therefore, the user bases were small enough for people to like manage it on their own. But now the internet's so big that that's just not a possible thing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those Halcyon days.
Yeah. Very cool. Going back to our Q&A from the community, Bim Bums
yeah.
still at it. He's got the most
Yeah.
real genuine questions.
This is my biggest fan here. I had no idea.
Oh yeah,
He
she
says-
loves you.
They ask, do you think YouTube and video distribution, is on a loop where eventually things will actually replace YouTube, or are you more convinced that we're stuck with the platforms we have long term? If you were YouTube king for a day or week, what changes would you make?
Oh man, I used to think that YouTube would eventually find a substitution before YouTube TV got introduced. And I remember when YouTube TV got introduced, I saw, oh, $65 a month for all these cable things. And I was like, no, there's no way. Lo and behold, that's the most popular way to watch cable right now.
Yeah,
Really?
even my parents have it.
Yeah, exactly. So
Wow.
now I'm like, fuck, YouTube really has everyone in the spectrum, from people that will only watch shorts to people who will only watch TV. They got everyone. So I truly think YouTube is now just come to a point where that's just a new synonym for just entertainment now. Like so maybe that's a bit doomer of me to say, but I think we're stuck with YouTube unless some website can somehow find a way, which can be possible. I mean, a lot of people said that about Facebook. A lot of people were like, oh, Facebook's gonna be eternal, and now Facebook is like in the bottom
fucking garbage.
Yeah.
Like now it's like taken over by Instagram and
It's
Twitter.
for grandma and grandpa.
For grandma and grandpa.
Yeah, everyone knows that as like, oh, I only keep my account open so my grandparents can talk to me. Like,
Right, so they can send me $20 a year.
So yeah, I don't know if that's like negative thinking or not.
I mean, we were in the age of the cyberpunk dystopia. Like those
monopolies
are they're gonna happen, you know?
People are gonna install the Neuralink, they're gonna upload a virus, they're gonna have their head explode on the sidewalk. It's just a matter of time.
And if I was king of YouTube for a day, I think what I would do is I would bring the activity feed back. I don't know if people remember the activity feed in the old YouTube days, but there was another tab in the subscription page where every channel that you're subscribed to, every video that they would like or add to their favorites would show up on your feed. And so I think they removed this feature like in 2013 or 2014 somewhere. I remember I was still in high school when they removed that part of YouTube. So I think like 2012, 2013.
Okay.
But that would just give you instant exposure immediately. Like if some big YouTuber liked your video enough to thumbs it up, if they thumbs it up, boom, it would appear in everyone's subscription tab on the activity feed. And I remember like way back in like my older channels, because I had 4 different YouTube channels that all got terminated. But like one of my older channels now as a kid, people like Chris O'Neill or like Ed's World or like Smosh would like my videos. And I remember I would go to school and I would come back and I find out my video is 5,000 views and all the comments were like, oh, Oni sent me here. Oh, Ed's World sent me here. And that's just not a thing anymore. Like you have to rely on mirror posting to social media. You have to rely on like other, like you have to rely on the algorithm. Hopefully
if you don't get in the first 12 hours, you're done for.
Yeah. And now that I see websites like Twitter and TikTok having For You pages, which are essentially the same thing, it's like, oh, the people that you're following likes these posts. I'm hoping that will one day motivate YouTube to bring it back.
Yeah, bring it
Like
back.
they should have just never. Also, video responses. I thought video responses were some of the most unhinged.
Yes, complete cesspool.
Yeah,
Video responses.
like people keep saying, "Oh, YouTube was better back in the day," and I was like, "Might I remind you, like the 30 responses from all these like deranged people who were just saying, "Hey, I just want to let you know that I really like this video," or I want to let you know this video sucks," and
the
it
genesis
just
of the reply guy and the reply girl.
Oh, I see.
exactly, yeah. So, and that was another feature that got removed sometime in 2013, and that maybe that's just the boomer like wishes that I want back, but I genuinely thought those were really cool ways of discussion before social media took over as
Yeah, what's wrong? You don't like the video commentary communities making 3 hour long hit pieces on each other every week?
that I love. Don't get me wrong. I just finished a couple today when I was working, so
Yeah, getting ready.
yeah. I like ever since Two Mad died, I like got really invested in like all the
Everyone
Two
shitting
Mad
on his
videos.
corpse.
Jesus.
Well, some of them were still like in the neutral with it being like whether we like it or not, he's still a legendary content creator. Like he changed the game, which is why like everything he did was that much more like depressing and like and just like disturbing. And like it was kind of weird because seeing someone like him that started the same as all of us, just like people alone in their room playing video games, like just seeing that pipeline for that, it just kind of made me like depressed and a little scared, being like that could have been any of us. That pipeline could have been any of us who all started the same way, just being bored playing Overwatch or some shit like that.
Yeah, I agree. It's a resounding, what's the opposite of endorsement? A warning for those who want to play
Exactly.
Overwatch. Don't do it.
Or just a warning for people that want to be content creators, like
Yeah, that too.
don't yeah.
Mostly
don't
Overwatch.
yeah, mostly Overwatch.
Yeah, stay away from Blizzard. Just stay away from Blizzard.
It just seems just a
Yeah.
general.
Any Blizzard property, no, just uninstall their client.
Okay, right on. All right, Nick, was there anything you wanted to ask, or do we want to move into like kind of covering?
All right, gaming news, I suppose. I do have one more thing, but we can do it later.
Yeah,
We can do it near the end. It's a little out there, but I think it'll be good.
No worries. Well, Jab, so before this episode, I watched a collection of your YouTube poops that were re-uploaded, and I kind of watched your Let's Start Over video.
Right.
We don't need to retread anything on there if
you're
under
arrest.
Is there anything, since you posted that video, that you want to talk about, or is there anything from that story that you'd like to kind of re-educate viewers or listeners on?
Yeah, so for people that aren't familiar, I used to have a channel that was my biggest channel I had. It had like 9,000 subscribers, and it had like pretty much every video well, not every video, but like the best of my videos from when I was 16 to all the way until I was 27. And I fucked it up one night. So I was like I love watching movies, but I also just love watching like movies that aren't necessarily praised. And I was asking a friend one night, I was like, what's like a good movie that like has like some spicy topics or like something that people aren't fond of? And I like started looking it up on Letterboxd, and I found this film called Midori. And my friend immediately was like, I'm never watching that. And I'm like, what? Why not? And he was like, I don't want to talk about it. I've heard a lot of things about it that are fucked up. And because I'm curious, that made me go, I'm gonna watch this one. Now that you said that, now that you said you're never gonna watch it, like I want to see what the hubbub's about. And every time I tried searching it up, all I got was top 5 most controversial anime like articles and everything. And I was like, I've never heard of this film prior to it. So every time I looked it up, everyone said the same thing. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to acknowledge this film.
I had never heard of it before watching your video. So like, oh, interesting.
I heard about it. So watching the video, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense that he lost his channel completely.
I didn't know anything about it because no one wanted to fucking talk about it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna find out what this is about. And of course, it wasn't available on any streaming services. And like the full video was uploaded to YouTube, so I thought, okay, I'm in the clear because the full film is uploaded to YouTube. I didn't realize there were censored parts. So I found a file on Archive, because Archive has like no filters, like you can upload anything on there really. And I was like, okay, it's on archive, but I want to watch this on my television. I don't want to watch this on my laptop, which was all I had at that night. So I downloaded it and I thought I was being smart. I was like, oh, I can just upload it private to my channel and I can just like watch it on my TV through my account. So I did that. And 10 minutes in, the video stopped loading. And I was like, that's
Not a good
weird.
sign.
I
It's just
like
getting
every
good. What the hell?
like I didn't even make it to any of the like I think the most controversial thing that happened was like the main character's dog got killed, and I was like, okay, that's disturbing, but that's not like like what I was hearing
Worst
about.
of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still like
Yeah,
elfin lead level.
yeah, like exactly. Like Elfin Lead had way worse shit than that in like the first 5 minutes. So I was like, that's weird. The internet's working on my phone and my laptop. What's going on? And I receive a notification from YouTube being like, there was a sign in Beverly Hills, California. Is this you? And I'm like, yes. Why is it asking me this? So I clicked yes, and it had me do like a confirmation thing. And I'm like, what's going on? And I think that was YouTube's like one chance to like have me claim I was hacked or something, because as soon as I said yes, I got hit with an email saying your channel has been terminated for severe sexual content. And I was like, sexual? What the fuck? So like I
Yeah.
started like scrolling through it and I was like, oh, there's sexual assault scenes in this movie. And no
Oh,
wonder it's
good.
so
Yeah.
controversial. And I was like, wow, that is the dumbest thing. One of the dumbest things I've ever done in my life was just allow this uncensored thing to be on my channel. And like it like recognized it in minutes. So like it was like 2 a.m. and my roommate comes out and like to put dishes away, and he just sees me standing in the middle of the living room in shock, and he was like, are you okay? And I
Going
was like,
on. Yeah.
and I turned to him and I was like, I just lost 11 years of my life.
Whoa.
Now I know how Shinji felt at the end of Evangelion.
Oh.
So much like everyone else on YouTube, like I fought, like I made a bunch of tweets whining about it. Hundreds of people came at my aid to like help me out. And it got to the point where like people at YouTube were manually like, dude, you need to shut up. Like what you uploaded was like not
The
cool.
worst shit
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah. So and then like every like multi-channel network I got involved with were like, yeah, we cannot defend you, dude. Like you uploaded straight up like pornography.
Like the
Yeah.
worst.
The worst of the worst.
And it was funny because I went to a Halloween party like a few months after, and I met this big YouTuber. I won't say his name, but like I met this big YouTuber that had like over 1 million subscribers.
Rhymes with Mr.
And
Yeast.
yeah, Mr. Yeast. Mr. Beast could probably bring my channel back in a heartbeat if I got in contact with him. But no, it was a smaller YouTuber, but like we started talking, we like started bonding about a few things, and then he was asking for my YouTube channel, and I was like, oh, my YouTube channel got deleted because I uploaded like straight up like a pornographic like anime film. But then as the time went on, he was like, send me your URL. I know a guy who can bring your channel back like immediately. And I was like, really? So we were going through it. We were like DMing on Instagram. And he was super confident. He was like, oh, my channel manager is like the guy. Like YouTube will listen to anything this guy says. And then when he saw the reasons, of course, he himself was like, I can't defend this. Your friend messed up.
He
Your
just like
friend
ghosted
messed
you. He's like,
Oh,
listen,
no.
man, don't lose my number.
Oh, he's like, wait a second. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
so this guy was like, I'm sorry, dude, I tried. And I was like, it's okay. It seems to be the same consensus as like no one wants to be seen as the guy defending the guy who uploaded like hardcore like hentai to
Jesus.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
like after
Oh.
that point I was like, okay, I'm fucked. I'm starting over. So I scripted that video, and I was like, all right, people have my blessing to re-upload all my old shit. I'm just gonna start from scratch. And so I wanted to do a few videos the past few months, but I was just busy with my day job and other editing stuff. But I eventually want to get at least a few video essays off the ground this year. And a lot of big YouTubers I talked to were really behind the ideas, so I'm gonna like see if I can collaborate with them and see if I can use like other people's like collabing on my channel to help grow it. Like I have a lot of
Yeah.
stuff plans, but it's just been a crazy like 4 or 5 months. Like I've been traveling the past month,
Yeah.
so once I get to like stay home for a bit and actually get to work on things, I'm confident I can surpass my other channel with the ideas I have. But man,
Yeah.
the thought does come to my head being like, fuck, like I've been making videos on the internet for 15 years and I have like nothing to show for it right now.
Well,
So
I mean,
I mean,
do you
but you
still
have
like
all the
doing it?
skills you've learned and all
Right.
that, you know?
How do you,
Yeah,
feel
no,
about the
I'm
actual process? Do you still enjoy it?
Yeah.
I think I still do. I feel like I wouldn't be so like eager to get my ideas out. Like there was a time in August, September where I was like just like being like, should I just like do something else now? Should I just do non-internet related stuff? But then when like I met that guy at the party and when a lot of people came to come for me, I was like, I can't fucking leave. They're like I've been in this like my entire adult life has been online. It'd be crazy to like fucking leave now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
You
mean,
still
yeah,
got things you want to say, yeah.
and if it's what you want to
Yeah.
do, you got to do it. It's just the way it is, sadly. You think I want to do podcasts? It's a sick urge in the back of my head forcing me to do this, right? I don't want to. I mean, I do, but it wasn't my choice.
Yeah, it's like the constant back and forth. It's like I want to quit. Oh, but I might miss this. But no, I'm done with it. No, but I'm good. Then like you quit for 2 days, and then you're like, fuck, I miss looking forward to the next thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I have to work on the internet whether I like it or not. I mean, like video editing and social media is my day job, like quite literally. Like I pay my rent with this shit, so I have to be online whether I like it or not. So I might as well get my feature ideas out and just hope it
Yeah, and do what you
surpasses
want
my
to do
last
while you're
channel.
there.
That's the plight of
Yeah.
us creators. You, me, Suda51, all the same guy.
Exactly. We're the same people, same mindset, same
Exactly.
computer chairs.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna use the bathroom again. The fucking tea I drink is just going right through me. Sorry.
You need to go to a doctor. My God. Prostate's got to be the size of a grapefruit. Holy shit. Anyways, well, I guess this will also be off the record.
Welcome back.
Yes, that'll all be off the record, of course. Don't want your fans to know you've gone on evil number site.
Oh, I've had my 4chan sets on my channel in the past. It's whatever.
Oh, really? Never mind. That'll all be published then.
There you go.
I'll just censor myself out saying I'll put in myself looking shocked when you say you go on 4chan. Like
people do that.
What? I only use Reddit.
I thought that website got shut down.
Right. So
just going back to the process of recreating your channel. So coming back into it, and you mentioned in the video you feel like it's sort of a second chance to rebrand. I suppose my question has to do with the pivot. Do you feel like you're really pivoting from like shit posting to something more genuine, and how do you find like a balance of that, or are you finding trouble finding a balance of that?
Oh, it's been a war for a while because like I'll never not want to make shit post content. Like it's funny. Yeah, like and it's therapy for me at this point. Like I've gone through so many moments where I spend like 16 hours editing this like really long video essay for one of my clients, and then my idea of soothing down afterwards is to edit a shitpost video. So like it's like I gotta make something for me after I made something for them. But nowadays like YouTube just punishes channels for uploading both at the same time. Like the guy I talk to, he'll make these really insightful 2-hour video essays and then release a 30-second shit post, and that will tank his views. So I'm just like fuck, do I make another channel for the
secondary channel? Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah. That's why no one's watching my clips. It's not that they're bad.
But also like one struggle I was having before my last channel got taken down was like on my old channel, I was trying to transition to more serious videos too. Like I deleted most of them, mostly because I just wasn't proud of them anymore. But I remember when I was like 19, 20, I started doing game reviews where I started doing more insightful stuff. And people would just be like, so you're doing this now? I subscribed for your YTPMVs. So I also noticed like that, and that kind of killed my last channel a bit. So
that's lame pushback from the community. I don't like that. Yeah.
So like my views like tanked throughout the years. And I was like gaslighting myself, being like, oh, that's fine. Like I'm doing other things besides my channel. So now that I have this new one, it's like, okay, well now it's a fresh one. So now I can kind of manipulate the algorithm a bit and like try to gain an audience that's there for my more insightful stuff. But then will they be upset if I release a shit post afterwards? Like it's a constant like struggle I have back and forth. And like the no-brainer is to have 2 channels, but it's like I don't know. I just don't like having multiple channels. Like
it kind of dilutes.
Yeah, like I see people with their main channel and then like their channel for their VODs and then their channel for their music, and I'm just like, fuck. Back in the old days, everyone just dumped everything on one channel, and people and the audience was just okay with that. And maybe that's another boomer thing I have in my mind, but it's like, fuck. I really wish I could have an audience that enjoys both insightful stuff and then a 30-second YTPMV afterwards.
I
Because
do
like,
think, yeah, I think it's on them to be able to be okay with maybe clicking on a different video instead of freaking out, unsubscribing, and
Yeah.
telling you to die.
Yeah.
yeah, and it was really bad back in the old days too. Like when I started doing it in 2016, 2017, now I get comments being like, "Man, I used to respect you back in the day with your YouTube poops, and
What the
now I get
fuck?
all these cringy videos," and I'm just like,
That's
I'm just
that's
like, I'm
people's
sorry.
fear of being genuine. They're projecting that. And I think that's such a silly thing in the age of the internet.
Yeah,
People think it's
so
trite to like things or be
yeah,
enthusiastic. It's like fucking it's fine, you know?
Yeah,
yeah.
just
So
don't like
throughout,
the
so
wrong thing.
yeah,
Sure.
exactly.
Sure.
So yeah, throughout the years, I was like, fuck, I really divided my audience. Like
Mm,
I divided the shit out of my audience. So, but now that I'm starting fresh, that's the apprehension too is like I have all these shit post ideas, but like I can't post it on this fresh channel because then people are gonna expect that, and then when I
yeah.
release some more insightful stuff, I feel like it's gonna be a deja vu again where people leave because they're like, oh,
Where
I
they get like a
subscribed to.
whiplash from the content that's interesting.
Yeah, so that's something, but I also tell myself why, like I shouldn't care. Like it's not like I'm depending on this channel for my income. I make income through other channels, so like I can be okay with that loss. But then I'm like, oh, but I still want it to grow, and it's just a constant like. There's a reason why every YouTuber people meet are fucking crazy and like depressed because
Yes, obsessed with
that's
metrics. I think
yeah,
it's better to treat it as just like your playground. What do you want to
Yeah,
do?
no, this is for you.
Yeah. I'm
yeah,
gonna just the opposite of what I assume every other content creator. I guess any people who even call themselves content creators, I feel like have a kind of brain poison or brain worm, where it's
hmm,
impossible to see everything other than raw metrics, and there's the
Yeah.
creativity is kind of a second seat or taking a back seat to making sure that it gets the most eyes on it as possible in the shortest amount of time. And I think that that's contrary to what you should be doing as someone who makes something for people to
yeah.
watch, for something for people to enjoy.
I agree. It's ultimately harmful for the medium of this sort of
Exactly,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah. And like the more contrarian part of me too is like calling it content like dilutes like or I don't know if that's the right word, but like it lessens like the
Yeah, it kind of
artistic value that
devalues it almost because it feels like something to be consumed
Well,
instead of
exactly. It's
yeah.
a
Devalue is the word I was
product.
thinking of, yeah.
There's no feeling of art to it. There's no feeling of actual creative effort or soul. It's plastic. It's soulless. It's hard metal when you touch it. Feels
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
exactly. But it's so normal now. Like the fucking I applied for a media badge at PAX and they gave me the content creator badge and I was like, oh my god, it's gotten
Just
it's
send you
gotten so
spiraling.
deep now. Yeah, it's gotten so deep now that it's on the fucking convention badge now. God damn it. It's
Mhm. That's fucking hell.
like I still got in for free, so I shouldn't complain. But like I'm like
Hmm.
fuck, like I like media is such a more flattering word than content creator.
I feel a little more dignified. Yeah, the media
Yeah.
badge. Yeah.
Yeah. Sam,
Uh,
write that down. Free badge.
for content creators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all are podcasters, so y'all are
Mhm.
press
Yeah.
technically. So
I found a way to get you to PAX East next year.
For
honestly,
free.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, like there was one guy that was running a website that only had like a few visits a day that wanted to interview TLT that still got a media badge despite the website not being very big. So it is
Hmm.
possible.
Yeah.
Interesting.
This kind of is related to another question from Bim Buns. Is when you give people your business card, does it say YouTube pooper or does it say YouTube pooper, comma executive?
I haven't passed out business cards since 2019, I think. But back when I did, it was more advertising my editing work. But
Okay.
like it would be like very I don't know if you guys watched $1 Million Extreme back in the day, but
Yes,
a
I
lot of
did.
a lot of their motion graphics was them just like venting in the background, like vent texts. Like we called it vent art, where like Sam would just go on a rant about something but like make it very obscure in the background. So my old business card just had the sentence over and over again, "Thank you for taking my card," like written like 20 times behind my logo.
Oh, that's
And then
great.
And then in the background, I had a paragraph being like, "I know you're just gonna throw this away. I'm not stupid, but the least you can do
Oh,
is
shit.
tell me to my face instead of just throwing it away. So when you throw it, when you throw this in the trash can, you're gonna see this statement and feel bad. I hope you feel awful." And I would just have that paragraph, and I'll put, "Anyway, here's my links," and then I would just
He
That's
goes,
great. Hey,
challenges them. Yeah,
yeah,
confrontational.
I was thinking about a redesign, so I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, yeah. Keep that in mind.
yeah, like that's like regardless on how what you think about Sam Hyde, like say anything you want. Like I'll probably agree with the negative stuff about him, but like I think the concept of vent art is really funny. Just like giving someone like a motion graphic that's just 3 paragraphs of you ranting about something,
Oh
I
yeah,
think is the funniest
he
shit.
was incredibly funny. His
Oh
TED
yeah, some of
Talk
his
is
stuff. Some of his
still
stuff. Yeah,
maybe
can't
one of the
deny.
greatest videos ever made.
Mhm.
Oh, which one?
The inconvenient truth, or not the inconvenient truth, the
Oh,
paradigm shift 20XX or whatever.
yeah,
We're wearing the
Paradigm Shift
Centurion armor.
2070. Yeah, and
Yeah,
then the other one you're thinking of is an inconvenient
inconvenient
anime.
anime. Yes, at the
Yeah,
anime convention.
yeah, which I think he got banned.
He did. He did. They forced him out in the middle of it, I think.
Oh my
Jesus.
god. But yeah, like that's I think that's the most impactful thing from me that he did is like, oh, just like because like vent art just like helps the rest of your motion graphics be more forgivable if you're not really good at it yet, because people will just pay attention to all the text that you spam on, and it like kind of warps around to being performance art again. Like people will ignore a lot of the shortcomings
Mhm.
of the motion designs for that. And so that just kind of I kind of stole that a bit and I put it in a lot of my branding. So like people would contact me being like, yeah, like I saw your, and I'll see posts being like, oh, I threw away most people's business cards, but here's the few I kept. And I would just see like my business card there being like, yes,
It
okay,
works.
It
I made it
worked.
memorable.
Yeah.
Even if it's a little upsetting, I made it work.
Very cool. Oh, very nice. Nick, you got anything else we want to cover with the jab lore, the YouTube?
The
What do you
lore, I
think?
guess the main thing, if you have anything, do you have any really outlandish or exceptionally funny convention stories? Because you're kind of living my dream right now, getting to be at a convention seemingly every week, which is something I've always dreamt of. And it's only very recently, because before when I went to conventions, I would go there, go on the show floor, go see a panel, maybe be like, ah, I'm tuckered out, time to go home. I didn't know there was a
Mm,
whole ecosystem and thriving
Yes.
group in areas where people would still be partying who are con goers late into the night. But I only started doing that maybe a year ago. So, as someone who's been a part of that community for much longer, is there anything that really stands out as being like wild and crazy or super fun or super nutso to you?
oh yeah, I have a handful of those. I mean, this is probably one y'all have heard of already, but do you guys remember the Chris Chan Too Many Games incident?
Yes, I do.
I'm gonna need
Yeah.
to be refreshed.
Okay,
But
so in 2018, the year I was doing that cringe culture panel, suddenly out of nowhere, Chris says, "Oh, this convention's only like a 30-minute drive from me," because she lived in Virginia.
okay.
So she just came out of nowhere, and everyone was like, "What the fuck? Chris Chan's coming to Too Many Games." And at this
Hmm.
moment, Chris Chan followed me on Twitter because I met them at MagFest that same year. And I guess she just vibed with me because like I asked her to shout me out. Like I have a video for on my old channel that was her being like, "You're watching Jab50Yen," and so like,
Wow.
so
There
I
you
guess she
go.
followed me because of that. So at
Yeah.
TMG, like I was like one of the people she was looking for to hang out with, and the people at the convention just gave her a guest badge, and they asked if she could be on my panel because they're like, your panel's probably makes the most sense for her to be on because her whole presence is cringe culture. And I was like, okay, yeah, she could be on my panel, whatever.
Yeah.
So she like looks for me, and we took a picture of us like with our arms and like on each other's backs, and of course everyone on the internet was like, oh my god, imagine the smell, blah blah blah. And
Oh,
and
Jesus. Fucking
and
A.
so like I was like, okay, whatever, like it didn't bother me,
Yeah.
like I don't care what people say about me online at this point. So I was like having fun with it, being like, yep, that's Chris Chan, and here I am hanging out with her. And then Saturday night I was like walking towards the front of the convention, and there was a gigantic crowd surrounding like this one person, and I was like, what's going on? There's like so much traffic towards the entrance. And I
Uh-huh.
was like eyeing like towards like the cracks of like the crowds, and I noticed someone with green hair was on the floor, and immediately I was like, was that fucking Chris Chan? and I like ran over and I was like pushing people aside, and
Get
like
out of the way.
and I saw them, and like these security guards were pushing me away. But then Justin Silverman, one of the people running the convention, told the security guards, no, let Jab in, and I'm like, oh fuck. And the security guards looked at Justin and said, oh, okay, come in. And I came in and I was like, what's going on? And Justin was like, we have to escort Chris out of the convention because she kept touching and kissing people without their consent.
Yeah.
And
no.
and
Yeah.
and instead of just taking the L and leaving, Christian curled into a ball and and was on the floor just refusing to leave. So Justin was like, she likes you, so can you like convince her to leave? And I was like, I'll do my best.
Wow.
So there's pictures and videos all over the internet of me in a brown flannel just like crouched next to her trying to talk to her, and I spent a good half an hour being like, Chris, I'm sorry, but that's the convention rules, you have to leave. I'm sorry it's come to this point, but that's we have to have the comfortness of people in mind. Like I
Yeah.
was, and she just wasn't listening to me. And then
Wow.
suddenly this older woman comes by, and she goes, what's going on? And I'm like, oh, this person right here like won't leave, and like she keeps like not listening to us. And then this mother like instantly goes, oh, is she autistic? And I was like, yes, actually she is autistic. And then the mother goes, oh, I have an autistic son, I know how to handle people like this. And I look at Justin, me and Justin both look at the security guards, and all four of us go, all right, let her in. And she came in, and instantly Chris listened to this woman. And
Wow.
so we were like, okay, let's go to this police office that's inside the convention center to talk this out more. So there's also, I think there's a photo of me like carrying her stupid Sonichu standee like across the convention, and her bag and her baseball bat to go to this police office.
Yeah.
And I snuck a picture of her that I didn't post until a few years later after the mom incident. But I had a picture of Christian like lying on the floor crying with all these like Philadelphia cops surrounding her. And so the woman finally like starts talking to Chris, and she's like, did you come to this convention alone? And Chris was like, no, I came with my two girlfriends, and they had like Sonic names. And then the mother was like, oh, where are they? And Chris was like, what are you talking about? They're right next to us right now. And there was no one there. Like it was her imaginary
Whoa.
girlfriend. So
Okay.
as soon
Magic
as she
Chan and Sonichu, I believe.
and as soon as she said that, I wish I had my webcam on, but I'll describe it visually the way I can. A Philadelphia cop looked at me with the most confused face and slowly like put his hand out and did a come here motion with his index finger, just like come here, like just to me. And then I was like, oh fuck, okay. So I'm going outside with this Philadelphia cop, and he was like, so what's this whole thing about this Sonic shoe thing? Like, what is this? And I was like,
What is this shit?
and in my mind, I'm like, I'm about to describe the lore of Sonichu to a cop. I
Well,
don't
listen, officer. I hope you're ready.
This will be
Yeah,
in a police report.
Yeah. Get out your
I
notebook.
think it might actually be in a police report now because of me. So I was like, officer, I'm gonna condense this as much as I can, but it is a franchise where she combines a Sonic and Pokemon property together, and there's a big internet following that likes to make fun of it, and she's here because of that. And now she has to be escorted out of the convention. And then he was like, so you're telling me that this person just combined two properties together? And I'm like, that's the internet, sir. There's a whole bunch of content these days that are remixes of other things. And he was like so confused. And then he was like, well, she's like going against our policy, so we're gonna have to throw her in the car. And I was like, can we do this like somewhere secret? Because if we do this in front of the whole convention, there's gonna be a bunch of photos, and like you might be put on the internet if this is a thing.
Fallout. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, well, I don't care about the internet. And I was like, sir,
It's not a real place, son.
yeah. And I was like, sir, like, for it is in your best interest to make this as private as possible. I do not want your information out there. And he started like motioning his hand towards his gun, and he was like, is that a threat, son? He was like, is that a threat? And I was like, no, it's not a threat. I'm just saying, like, we have to keep this like
Cops are
very
fucking
low
crazy,
key.
dude.
Very Philadelphia.
Holy
Yeah,
fuck.
they're
What
like
the hell?
cops are on edge 24/7. Like every conversation you have, it's like they want to be threatened. I don't
Jesus.
fucking
Yeah,
get it.
yeah.
Sir,
It's like
I'm
that.
just saying, someone is going to Law and Order SVU your police number on the badge from a JPEG. You're going to get called every day.
So after some smooth talk with him, like they it turns out they just didn't even want to arrest her anymore. They just wanted her to leave. So we got these police
Fucking hell.
cars. We got these police cars to block off the entrance so they wouldn't see us. And it's me, Silverman, that cop, the autistic mother, or the mother of the autistic son. Sorry, the mother of the autistic son, and Chris Chan. Like the five of us are walking to Chris Chan's car, and we're like kind of hiding Chris away from the public. Like the four of us create this barrier around her, and then she eventually puts her shit in her car and then leaves. And then the mother gives me a big hug, and then she is like, God must have given me this. Like she immediately started talking about God, and I was so exhausted at this point. I was like, you know what?
Praise
Yes,
be.
yeah, praise God. Like I like didn't.
You're
even
right.
want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like after that, like that might have turned me into a born again Christian after that, because like that was a fucking miracle.
Baptized in fire.
Holy shit.
So
wow.
so
No
of
idea.
course, yeah, no, when that was fresh, I kind of avoided all press because back when Kiwi Farms was still a big thing, like the creator of Kiwi Farms was accusing me of being a clout chaser and was like, "Oh, Jab only did this to get clout online." So I was like, you know what? I denied all press interviews. I denied all podcasts.
Fucked
and
up, dude.
What don't want to.
Like, like, I'm not gonna feed him.
Right.
Yeah. And then so that's the first like ultimate like crazy story that I have.
Wow. That's fucking crazy.
That's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, no,
we got
like,
the exclusive.
you probably do. I don't think I talked about this on any other podcast. Apologies in advance when this episode gets put on the quickie and Kiwi.
No, we appreciate it.
What can you do?
The second most craziest story I have is also at Too Many Games a year after.
Where's this convention at? Philadelphia?
Philadelphia, or specifically Oaks, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
But like in the greater Philadelphia area. So you guys know the YouTuber Boogie2988, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
I only tangentially know from what these guys have posted.
I think I've sent in the picture of him at the door standing holding the gun. I think
the infamous Frank Castle moment. Yeah. So in 2019, I was exhibiting at Too Many Games. I worked for an indie game company at the time, and we had a booth there, and our controllers were running out of batteries, so I needed to like go somewhere to find batteries. So I went to this Wawa nearby to see if they had batteries, and as I entered this Wawa, I run into this YouTuber called McJuggernuggets. I don't know if you guys know who McJuggernuggets is.
Tangentially through Buggy being mad at him, I guess.
Yeah, like he got popular for like the Psycho Dad Breaks Xbox videos and whatnot. He was like one of those like shock value videos, like people like Angry Grandpa and
like a Tourette's guy kind of.
Yeah. So I saw him and I was like, "Oh, hey Jesse, I love your videos." And immediately he puts his arm around me and goes, "Oh yeah, do you want to do a prank with me right now?" And I was like, sure, okay, what's up? And he points at his car in the parking lot. He was like, "You see that pink car over there?" I was like, "Yeah, I remember those from your videos." And he was like, "Yeah, Boogie is in there right now. I want you to go to my seat and act like you're driving him back to the convention." And I was like, doesn't he have a history with stalkers? I feel like this is gonna go south like as soon as I go in there. And Jesse was like, "Good point. Okay, as soon as you go in there, I will immediately dash to his side and make sure that like he knows that it's a prank." And I was like, okay. So I go into the car, I open it up, he's on his phone, and just goes, "That was a quick shit." And I sit down next to Boogie in Jesse's driver's seat, being like, "Yeah, so you're ready to go back to the convention?" And again, I wish I had a webcam for this, but he looks at me and immediately darts back and goes, "Who the fuck are you?" and I'm like, "Okay, I'm over this bit. Jesse wanted me to come in here and scare you." And then Jesse opens up the door from his side and like starts laughing and gives me a high five. And then Boogie looks at both of us and goes, "That was so fucking good. Oh my god, that was great." And he like shook my hand and like the three of us like started shooting the shit.
I thought for sure that was gonna go sour.
Yeah, could have died. Like, could have died.
and like that was a moment where I was like, "Huh, Boogie's very infamous, but he's like really chill about this right now. Like this is actually like kind of a cool moment." And I saw him at a private party for like YouTubers later on that night. Like I went to this YouTuber party and I saw him there again, and I was like, "Hey Boogie, you remember me from earlier?" And he was like, "Yeah," and we gave each other a hug. And that like really opened my eyes, being like, yeah, like outside of internet shit, like Boogie can totally be a chill guy when he wants to be. And that was kind of my eye opener. So like despite all the stuff happening these days, I still have that memory in my head being like, put him in the right situation. He seems like he can be a chill dude. He just doesn't know how to handle criticism very well, which is, you know, someone of his size audience wise, like he gets thousands of them a day. So like
Mm-hmm.
when you catch him at a moment where he's not paying attention to all that stuff, I think he can be fine. So like that's like a more positive experience I had where it's like, wow,
Yeah.
I just had firsthand experience with a highly controversial person and it was actually like super chill.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
Wow.
the other end of the spectrum.
The other end. Yeah, exactly.
exactly the other end of like my experience with two infamous internet people.
Jeez. Wow.
Nice. Yeah, that is a point. You know, I
Thanks.
asked
Thank
for
you.
nutso, you
Yeah.
gave us
Yes.
nutso.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love talking about those stories.
Yeah, I love
Okay.
hearing it.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't have any experience in conventions like that. Like I've worked at some conventions here in California,
Mhm.
mostly just doing like, you know, the help desk or whatever.
Yes,
Yeah,
he has a
yeah.
But
vendetta
even
against Sean Schemmel, actually.
even from there, like you see like in the autograph hall just so much crazy shit,
Oh
or the
yeah.
merch hall, just like con goers can be not my favorite people
Oh
sometimes.
yeah. And those aren't the people I go to cons like with. It's like it's stories like the last two that I said. Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
even go for like the guests or the booths or anything. I just go because like when you're in an environment where thousands of people on the internet are in like the same place, like some crazy bullshit's bound to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And like as you can tell from like the stuff I talked about earlier, I just crave crazy shit like that. So and conventions there always seems to be some
I mean,
weird thing
yeah,
that
it's
happens.
that
Yeah.
wavelength that everyone's on, yeah, during the space. Very cool. All
It's
right.
really a Garden of Eden for us, a Mecca.
Right.
Make your pilgrimage, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you're in California, so there's already a whole bunch more that you can go to. Like, what part of California are you in?
We're both in like
Uh
northern. Oh wait, no,
no, he's in northern. I'm definitively Southern California.
yeah, he's San
Oh,
Diego. I'm
okay.
Yeah.
Santa Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, yeah. So there's already like San Diego Comic
Yeah,
Con,
Comic
Anime
Con.
Expo, and
Yeah.
whatnot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, do we want to keep anything else from the convention space or the YouTube space, or do we even want to cover the
um.
triple I initiative, or should we just get to the community Q&A?
I think that's pretty much everything I can think of. So I'm down for the Q&A now.
Okay,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Triple I is something Nick and I could cover another day. So
Independent games, they
yeah,
keep making them. Thank
and we
God.
do love them. Yeah,
Yes, I'm a big fan of them. Keep doing them. Don't stop.
yeah. You got I actually did have a question for you earlier regarding games because we spoke about snowboarding games. Do you have a personal
Oh yeah, go
favorite
for it.
in the genre?
Uh,
Um,
SSX is
which one?
specifically
Yeah.
the first one,
Oh yeah,
which
right
is not a
on.
very popular
Yeah,
answer, but
controversial take.
but I love it so much that I think I'm fourth place in speedrunning it right now. I have like the fourth
Nice.
fastest.
Wow.
I I used to be third, but the third place position got taken from me recently, so I got to
Wow.
practice again.
That's
Damn
cool.
them.
Who are you playing as normally in
I
the
play as
OG?
this really annoying Canadian girl called Elise.
Okay.
Like she
Yep.
constantly screams every time she does tricks, but like she's just the fastest one, like
Mhm.
with like the default stats.
Yeah.
So I just like to work with her the most.
Very cool. Were you a big SSX guy, Nick? Did you ever play any of
I
those
have
ones?
never played a single snowboarding
Oh
game in my
man.
entire
Oh
life.
Oh
man. There's
man,
so
well,
many
Because
good
well, when
ones.
I was a kid, I was like, oh, snowboarding, that's sports. Ew, where's Final Fantasy?
well, to be fair, there hasn't been many good snowboarding games as of
No,
recent.
no,
Yeah,
no,
like
no.
It's just like what, SSX and then like snowboard kids, and that's it.
yes, I love snowboard kids. There was a
Yeah,
few. There
cool
was like
borders.
yeah, Cool
Fucking
Borders. There was
uh
1080. There was like
mhm.
Sean White. What 1080 was really good. Um,
I think
and
with the
there
recent console generation, there was Steep, and then Ubisoft is doing Riders Republic, which is their kind of extreme sports blanket game.
Battle Pass
yeah.
Extreme
Yeah,
Sports.
it's weird. It's like a Fortnite extreme sports experience.
Sounds like a skip. Sounds like a not for
Yeah,
me.
it's justified skip.
But one thing that bums me out is like SSX and Snowboard Kids, like they actually had like Mario Kart style courses where they didn't focus on snow mountains. It was like very like cartoonish like areas
Yeah,
to like
yeah.
snowboard. Whereas like Steep and like the reboot of SSX for the PS3 back then it was all just snow mountains, and I'm like, man,
Yeah,
like what
the
happened to
SSX reboot was weirdly gritty at times. Like it was trying to like the mountain is dangerous,
yeah,
Mm.
but then
it was going for
also over the top.
realism.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas like the older SSX were all cartoony. Like when you
Mhm.
crash, you hear Hanna-Barbera sound effects, and the commentator makes fun of you. Like
Yeah.
and like, but like in the new SSX, it's like okay, they're trying to aim for realism, and that's not
Mhm.
what I want. Like if I wanted that so bad, I would go to NorCal and learn snowboarding. Like
Yeah, I'm
Totally.
there, and I can't even think about touching a snowboard.
I feel like there's a project that I saw recently, an indie snowboarding type. If I find it, I'll send you a link. So, yeah.
right.
Yeah,
All
bomb
right.
rush snowboard funk or something.
Snowboard mug, yeah.
There's one I like called Shredders. I think Shredders is kind of fun.
I think that.
It's still downhill snowboarding, but they're like
Mhm.
very cartoonish missions that I really like. And
Yeah.
the story is kind of funny. It's about these rebellious snowboarders that snowboard on these hills that they're not supposed to be on, but the person that catches them works for like this energy drink company, and
Uh-huh.
she's like,
This
okay, I'm
sounds very
supposed
familiar. Hold on.
yeah, and she's like, okay, you guys are in trouble, but I really like your tricks. So if you can agree to do tricks for our brands, then I won't arrest you guys. So now you're like under this contract to like show like your snowboarding skills under like a energy drink brand. And I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what they should do is have a whole like broken bone pain kind of point system. So that was always the fun part about Tony Hawk Pro
Tony
Skater, and I was
Hawk
really
or
bad about it,
Skate, yeah.
was making my guy fall from a really high height and see him like flail his arms and then the bone crunching sound when he
Yeah.
hit the ground.
Oh yeah,
Burst of blood.
Yeah.
do like the Mortal Kombat thing where it zooms into like an X-ray of their body and like the bones crunch.
Ah!
Then he just shakes it out. He's like, ah, youch.
Yeah, ouch, my knee.
Yowza.
Right on. Okay. Nick, do you want to get started with any of the Q&A?
Yes, the funny questions.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so Internet Celebrity Sheepover says, can you please rank the dads from Rugrats?
Ooh, shit. Okay. Um, so do you guys know that Rugrats theory that Tommy was a stillborn child?
I
Yeah,
And
it's
do.
like Angelica's hallucinating the babies or
Yes.
something.
yeah, so with that logic, I think Stu is the best father because only a father that would care that much about their child would be so sad that he pursues a career in toy making to
Hmm.
like to fulfill the emptiness of his son that
Mhm.
never came to light. So
Damn.
if that theory is true, I think Stu would have been the best father.
The
Uh
unappreciated creator.
Yeah.
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 I think the second would probably be Chucky's dad. Mostly because he
Chaz.
just Chaz, yeah, because like third place I think would probably be Phil and Lil's dad because he was
Oh,
like
really?
Howard,
yeah,
yeah.
because he was like the house husband, like
Yeah.
he took care of everything.
He has no sex
And
appeal, so
yeah, no sex appeal, but and the last one is like probably Angelica's dad because you know all grown up happened. Angelica was still kind of like bratty, and it's like, come on, dude,
Come on,
had all
guy.
you had all these years, like
Yeah. You could have led
there's
better
stepped
by
up.
example. Yeah.
yeah, and based on the theory, when all the babies are like hallucinations of Angelica, it sounds like she's a pretty neglected kid. So shame on you, Drew. I think is
Yeah,
his
you've seen
name.
the state of her doll, that Cynthia
Yeah,
doll. Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
get her a new
fucking
one.
buy her a new
Yeah.
doll. Why are
They've
you
got the money.
Yes, they certainly
exactly?
do. Yeah.
They're all living in houses. They're not in fucking New York City apartments. They all have
Yeah. They're in
suburban
the
houses.
suburbs. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There you go, sheep. Got the ranking.
Let's see.
Nice. Let's see.
From Antoids, how long would you have lasted in the Mr. Beast video where you get 10 grand for every day you spend in a abandoned grocery store, provided you give up to 10 grand of merchandise each day?
Do I have to give like is that the challenge? I have to find $10,000 worth of
I
merchandise.
believe that's what he's
Mhm.
saying.
Yeah. Unfamiliar with the
Oh.
video, unfortunately.
I'm not a real Mr. Beast guy.
Yeah,
I mean, I know you made that Mr. Beast video, so I was hoping you were more of a scholar.
oh no, that that was an epic rap battles video where like he just screams Mr. Beast and that just became a sample. Everyone started using that.
So good.
Got so big that Mr. Beast endorsed it. So that's another like milestone for YouTube.
Nice.
But I mean honestly that doesn't sound so hard. Like I like going to abandoned buildings sometimes. So like
Mhm.
that actually sounds kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie.
Urbex.
Urbex, you ever found any jars of Jankum in
Yeah.
the abandoned buildings? You know?
Any severed limbs?
Whoa.
So probably a few days, I'd say. I'm not gonna be one of those people that like, oh, I would win, because after a few days I'd probably get bored.
Yeah.
I'd probably just be like,
Right.
all right, I made like 30 grand. That's
Yeah.
good enough.
That's
All right.
yeah.
Time to go home and play PlayStation.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed my
Nice.
PS5. Let's go back.
Very good. All
Good.
right. Coming in from Goon. He says top 5 Gorillas guest verses. If you got
Oh
5.
shit. Okay.
Ah, I like this. Yes, very good.
So
Are you a big Gorillas fan? Goon seems to be in the know
They-
of something I'm not.
they are my favorite band, yes.
Okay, yeah.
However, after
Middle school
song
core.
middle school core, absolutely.
Nah, man. Damon Albarn is
No,
awesome.
no. He said demon. I'm referencing something.
Yeah, no, there was a trend recently that was like post 4 embarrassing albums you listened to in middle school, and I was like, oh, I listened to the shit out of Demon Days. So
Demon Days.
Yeah.
of course.
Demon Days and Lemon Demon.
yeah, Lemon Demon was my shit back then. It still is now. I still have respect for him. But anyways, fuck. Because like it's weird because after Song Machine, I thought Song Machine sucked, so I stopped listening kind of after that.
Mm.
But I think my favorite one probably has to be MF Doom. I was a big MF Doom fan, so when he was featured on November Has Come, like I really liked that one. Second, I gotta say probably one of the newer ones. I really liked their collaboration with Tame Impala. Tame Impala and Booty Brown were really good. What else? I gotta think of 3 more. Plastic Beach is my favorite album from them, so I'm trying to
Same.
think of.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's very good.
So good. Oh my god. The 2 rappers in White Flag, I think, were really good. They were some really good ones. And then who are the ones that rapped in Super Fast Jellyfish?
Oh, I don't know, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, all hell King Neptune
Yeah.
and his
Yeah.
water breeze.
It is water
yeah.
creatures.
Gruff Reese and De La Soul.
There you go.
Okay, there you go.
And number 5 is
boring answer, but probably Del the Funky Homo Sapien.
that's what I was waiting
It's
for.
classic.
Yeah.
You
I
can't
can't-
not include it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it'd be criminal for me not to include that. But
this
I
guy
knew...
doesn't say Dell. I'm gonna lose it.
No, I used to know the whole lyrics of Clint Eastwood, and
Yeah.
everyone thought I was the weirdest kid in school
No
for
way.
like having
More like the
whole
coolest
lyrics.
kid.
Yeah, finally someone let you out of your cage.
I remember there was a meme of like some dude with like a science test tube that was like saying finally something like during the pandemic, and I replaced his head with Dell's face, and I was like, oh, Dell when he's saying Clint Eastwood, and just said finally someone let me out of my cage.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Nice. A little off topic, but did you guys ever catch? That's not really off topic. Did you ever catch the Gorillaz or Daft Punk music videos on Adult Swim way back in the day when they aired them?
No.
no,
That was my first exposure to those 2 groups, which or not Adult Swim, might have just been Cartoon Network.
I saw it on
Frankly.
MTV because my mom called me and she said, "Look, a cartoon is on MTV." I was like, "What?"
Yeah. You know, I actually might be misremembering that, but I just have a very early memory of like as
I
a
remember
kid.
Cartoon Network had on like They Might Be Giants music videos.
Yeah.
yeah,
Actually,
no,
I think it was, yeah.
this is a conversation for another day, but I was a military brat growing up, so I like moved to like different countries, and we didn't have like traditional cable. We just had military networks, so like they would never play music videos or anything like that.
Oh,
For sure.
So I kind of missed out on like early 2000s cable culture, like back then.
wow, no Samurai Jack, huh?
Yeah.
No, I have no knowledge of that show.
That's terribly tragic.
Yeah, that's why I love the internet so much, because that was accessible compared to cable.
Exactly, yeah. Okay. Oh, right on. And Adult Swim, you know, kind of thinking about Cartoon Network and Adult Swim and just the proliferation of internet humor into the greater cultural consciousness.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
They're
Adult
really
Swim was one
pushing
of
it,
the
like, yeah, have been and still are pushing that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force basically could have been on the front page of Newgrounds.
It could have, yeah. One of my videos that got big on TikTok in 2019 got featured on Last Podcast on the Left, which was hosted on Adult Swim site. So like in the biggest technicality, I got to brag being like, "Oh, I was featured on Adult Swim once,"
Yeah.
which is technically true.
I know Tim Heidecker.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I got him on speed dial.
Oh man, his response to OJ's death this past week was excellent.
So many of my friends said that's how they found out. That's how they found out.
I only I wish Norm was alive to experience
exactly. Yes. Yes.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, if Norm beat OJ, he'd have a fucking field day.
it. That'd be the funniest thing.
Yeah. I could.
Yeah.
Okay. Coming in next from Goon. He's got a whole series right here. He
Ooh.
says, "What is the worst hair care product on the market, and why is it Old Spice 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner?" Yeah, thoughts
Uh,
on that?
you know what? I'm gonna agree because I fucking hate the smell of Old Spice. I can't stand it. I know I'm supposed to pretend I like Old Spice because yeah, haha, YouTube poop, but I'm sorry, I can't handle the smell of it. I
Fair
hate
enough.
smelling
Hey,
like it.
fair enough.
So I'm gonna agree with Goon there.
Hey, what artist or artists are you listening to right now?
Ooh, some normie answers, but Travis Scott. I really like Circus Maximus, his new like project that came out. Um,
I've never jumped in to his music,
oh
but I
yeah,
guess
no,
I'm not really a huge like modern hip hop head. So
oh yeah, I'm really into hip hop, so that's the one. I started listening to another Midwestern emo artist called For When You Can't
nice.
Breathe.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a good one. I started listening to Kimya Dawson again, who got who got popular by Juno, like that old movie from
Yeah, which
2007.
is the moldy peaches, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
fucking love the moldy peaches.
Okay, right on. Wow, that's a diverse mix
Yeah.
of genres
Thank
right
you.
there. Yeah. Okay, yeah, Goon. What would your IHOP themed menu be based on if you had full control to do whatever you wanted?
Oh man, IHOP. I haven't been to
Yeah,
IHOP in years.
or Denny's. I think any
Just like
American
yeah,
Nice.
diner
24-hour
establishment.
diner.
And
Yeah.
follow up to that is which subgenre of e-girl would you like to staff said Denny's/IHOP?
Yeah, if there's
Ooh.
like the jab promotion going on.
Yeah. If you it's
Um,
your menu, your type of lady,
Yeah.
all right,
Your
you know
type of
what?
music on the speakers. Yeah.
Yeah. They're just
All right, you know
blasting
what?
the Family Guy Glock and my Rari remix.
You know what? It's time to bring a feet themed Hooters. You know what? I'm sick of it. We gotta bring that.
There you
That's
go.
that's what we got. And they
They just got that like foot poser ad and all the TVs playing nonstop.
yeah, and every e-girl waitress has to learn to walk with their hands and serve
Oh my God.
all my favorite Mexican recipes with their feet. That's what we
Oh,
got.
there you
That's what we
go.
got.
There you go.
Gets in the wing sauce. Oh my God. What a mess.
Any restaurant would make millions off that. Come on now.
In this day
Hooters.
and age, yeah.
Yeah,
Fooders.
footers. There you
Oh,
go.
Okay.
okay. I think one last one. My beloved fiance, who I think you met for 1 millisecond, wants
Oh,
to
Apex.
know what is your hair care routine? When I
You
first, I
do
remember
have
when I first,
quite the yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
Quite
quite
thank
the
lots.
you.
mane.
Honestly, like I really just use Head and Shoulders. Like that's the only one that seems to work for me. And I know a lot of people say it's bad for you, but I can't go a day without washing it. Like I have to wash it every single day, sometimes twice a
Everyone's
day.
hair is different,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like at conventions, like you were probably seeing me showering 3 times a day,
I
the
Oh
don't
one
my
I
blame
was
you.
at.
God.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like especially when I work at conventions, like
Hmm.
last packs, I was like bringing in like 100 pound like boxes of our merchandise, so I was like sweating like shit. So like
Mhm.
I showered like 2 to 3 times a day that weekend, and yeah, like everyone's like, "Oh, that's bad for your hair," and it's like, okay, well, I get a lot of compliments, and I go every day.
It's
Like,
true. That was the first thing she said when I pointed you out. She's like, "Oh my, he has the most beautiful hair."
oh, well, thank
Yeah.
you, I
Yeah, thanks,
appreciate that.
Bingy. Excellent. Okay. And yes, thank you for answering all those. And
Yeah, absolutely.
as we come to the close of today's episode,
Yes.
where can viewers or listeners find you? And are there any current projects you'd like to plug or promote?
Nice. You can find me anywhere at Jab50Yen, JAB50YEN. Jab50Yen on YouTube, on Twitter, Instagram. And as far as current projects, I'm running a part 2 for my music festival called Funny Rave. If you like your rave shows and your concerts to have some comedic value to it, the community of YouTube poopers and musicians, they make some of the funniest shit in music form. So I really recommend coming out to that. And also just a few video essays and podcast ideas I have coming out to my new channel. So my new channel's a bit bare right now, but hopefully by the end of this year, I'll have a decent handful of stuff coming out on that. So a subscribe on that would mean the world since I'm trying to make up for the 9,000 subscribers I lost. So uh just yeah, so that's the goal going up, is to just grow that channel as much as I can. So those are the two things that I have going on right now. Other than that, just follow me on Twitter. I tweet every day, so if you want to chill out and talk about bullshit, I'll be on there.
Excellent.
There you go.
Excellent. And yeah, you can find us at Video Ditch Pod on Twitter/X. I'm at the Super Sammy Com. He is at Somebody Stop Me.
With two eyes.
Yeah, 2 eyes, Nintendo style. We'll post all the links below as usual. Nick, do you have any special requests for our guest?
Yeah, Jab, I know you don't have the camera, so it's not quite have the same effect, but I still wanted to know if it was possible, if you could say a couple of things for no particular reason. If you could say, if you just repeat what I say real quick, could you say, snooping as usual, I see?
Oh shit, okay. Let me get the voice ready. Snooping as usual, I see.
Perfect. And could you say, this peace is what all true warriors strive for?
All right. Let me get my guttural voice in. This peace is what all true warriors strive for.
Wonderful. And lastly, could you say, I hope she made lots of spaghetti?
All right, I gotta get my nasally voice in for this one. I hope she made lots of spaghetti.
Wonderful. Perfect. And that's just a little thing I wanted you to say for no reason in particular.
Well, I can't wait to see that get used for absolutely nothing. But I trust you. I believe you.
Excellent. So yes, and that was Video Ditch for this week. Thank you again, Jab, for coming on. It was a pleasure talking with you about all this.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I had a blast.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, we'd hope to have you on in the future.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm always down for stuff like this. So
nice.
Anytime.
Excellent. Okay, well then, until next time, viewers and listeners, keep on gaming in the free world.
See you next convention.
Absolutely.